So this is the first episode of our brand new series starring Anton Ferdinand. Anton, thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Of course. How are you finding the lockdown?
I'm finding lockdown testing, but enjoying it also. Spending time with my family and stuff. It's been nice, you know. But yeah, it's been testing. I'm used to being out of the house and stuff and being on the road and doing stuff, being constantly busy. But that's not the case right now. It's alien to me. It's been alien to me to be in a house for this long, for the last 20 odd years. So it's strange, but enjoyable at the same time, I'd say.
How do you keep fit?
I do workouts in my garden. I do a lot of circuit training in my garden. I go on runs. My little boys' football club, they set targets. They set challenges for the boys. My son's only 6, but they set challenges for the boys, like running challenges, like how fast can you do a 3K run? How fast can you do? I think this week is how fast can you do 1K? So I do them with him. So I just keep fit by doing that stuff. Pardon?
Who's better? Who's faster?
Me at the moment. I'm sure he will be at some point. Like, he's quick, to be fair. He is quick, but he's only 6. So, but I'm sure he'll be quicker than me. I'm sure of it.
And you've got some girls, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a daughter as well. She's only 3. She does her exercise inside the house in the garden, running up and down. So she's okay.
Oh, and as you say, you're getting a bit of family time. It must have been difficult because you travel about quite a lot with work.
Yeah, it is. As traveling up and down and everything with work, it is hard at times. People don't understand what you go through in terms of dealing with family and dealing with football. Like, you sacrifice a lot. Although the rewards are great and stuff, it weren't until now that I realised how much I've actually missed, you know. And as much as, like, my kids are fine and they live a nice life and stuff, that doesn't compare to things that you actually miss, you know. And even the likes of just taking them to a museum, that, like, I've never really been able to do that. You know, like, especially my son's in school now, so when it's half time, actually being able to take him to, when it's half term, actually being able to take him to, like, a museum or going into London for sightseeing. I've never actually really been able to do that.
So whereabouts are you then? In the outskirts of London? Is that where you stay just now?
Yeah, I'm in outskirts. I'm in Essex, on the outskirts of London. So, like, it's a 25-minute train journey straight into central London. So yeah, doing stuff like that when I have been able to do it, it's been a breath of fresh air, and something that, as I say, I didn't realise I missed so much until now.
Now, how do you keep in touch with your friends? Do you know everyone's doing those, like, Zoom calls where you can see, well, a bit like what we're doing? Are you doing that with pals or not?
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm doing. We have quiz nights, family quiz nights and stuff.
Who's the best?
Yeah. Pardon?
Who wins the quiz?
Not me. Definitely not me. I think Rio's won one. Rio and Kate have won one. And my sister, Sean, and her boyfriend have won one. I think was that it? No, we've actually won one, but that we haven't won.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we won one. There's been 3 winners out of 6 families, so we've won one, and Rio and Kate have won, and Sean and her boyfriend have won the majority of everything.
So is there much sibling rivalry?
Yeah, there is. Whoever wins, you know about it, that's for sure. In the WhatsApp group, it goes off afterwards, and yeah, you know about it. Whoever wins, they boast 100%.
That's amazing. So I guess with the sibling rivalry coming up against your brother, when you had your first ever game in the same level. I mean, that must have been a bit surreal, like growing up together, playing football together, and then all of a sudden you're against each other.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like you say, the word you use, surreal, is the correct word. Me and Rio, we speak regularly, like through the week. But whenever we played against each other, we just naturally just didn't talk.
Really?
We naturally just did not talk in the week leading up to the game. Normally, I'd be ringing them saying, "Oh, look, Ree, I'm playing against I'm playing against Thierry Henry today. What can I expect? I've watched him, but what can I do that can counteract what he does? Like, help me, give me some pointers," and he would. But I couldn't ring him up and say, "Ray, I'm playing against Ruud van Nistelrooy today, this week. Like, how can you help me?" You know. And I think we both wanted to win. We didn't want to give each other the edge, so we just never spoke. And especially the first time playing against each other, I remember being a younger brother and Rio being my hero and my idol. I remember saying to myself, even in the tunnel, because they was in the tunnel waiting for us, waiting to go out for the warm-up. And we come out in the tunnel to go out, and we went out before them. But even then, I'm in the tunnel, and I can see Rio, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not even speaking to him. Can't speak to him. Nah, he's getting blanked. I can't speak to him. So I just walked past him, went out for the warm-up, and then when you come into the tunnel to go out for the game, like we always stood in the same place. So if I wasn't captain or if he wasn't captain, we always stood third in line. So it'd be the captain, goalkeeper, then me or Rio. So we were standing side by side, but again, there was no eye contact, no talking. It was just straight focused, which was a bit weird. I was like, wow, like, I'm standing next to my brother. I'm not even chatting to him. But this is work. I've got a game to play, and we're going to beat them. We need to beat them. And it was like that until we came to the respect handshake. And the minute that we saw each other, we both started laughing. That is surreal. We both like had a little giggle, started laughing. And once that happened, like the feeling of the anticipation, the feeling that I had, it just lifted off of me. And it was like, wow, like I'm playing against not only my brother, but I'm playing against the best defender in the world. Like that's how I saw him. So it was like, wow, playing against the best defender in the world. I'm trying to emulate him, and he's my brother, and all of our family are in the stadium watching the game.
So what side did you sit?
They just wanted a draw. Like I remember all my brothers and sisters, they had a shirt that was split down the middle, one side West Ham, one side Man United. You know, with the fire Ferdinand on the back. So yeah, it was everyone wanted a draw, but I just remember thinking this must be terrible for my mum and dad. It must be terrible. And when speaking to them after the game, no one enjoyed it. We enjoyed it as brothers and playing. We enjoyed it, but our family members didn't like it at all.
So what happened when you have like a big game and your brother has a big game and you're not playing against each other? Who did the family go and see? That must have been tough.
Yeah, it splits really. It depends how big the game is. Okay. Really, like if Rio's game's bigger than mine, they'll go to Rio's game. If my game's bigger than Rio's, they'll go to my game. It was. Do you know what it is? Because like we never really looked at it like that as brothers. We never looked at it and gone and was like, oh, everyone's going to Rio's game, everyone's going to Anton's game. Why ain't coming to ours? Because the Premier League's so publicised and so well watched. You know, it's like the way I took it was I'm representing them whether they're here or not because they're going to see it. If I make a mistake, they're going to see it. If I do something well, they're going to see it. So whether they were at the game or not, it didn't really didn't really matter to me. Obviously, it's nice to have them there and see them after the game, but if they wasn't there, then I knew they were going to see what I'd done anyway. So it wasn't a case of, they're not here. I never ever looked at it like that, really.
That's a good way to look at it, though.
Yeah, it is. It's well, that's what comes with the pressure of playing at the top. You know, it's not just your family you're representing. I always went onto the pitch, even in the latter stages of playing for St Mirren. I always carried that pressure on the pitch that I can't let the Ferdinand name down. I can't let my entire family down, and my friends who I grew up with in Peckham. On for those who don't know, it's an estate which isn't very, very nice. It is not. It's nice. I enjoyed it at United, but it isn't known for its perks. It's known for knife and gun crime. You know. So I grew up in an estate like that, and I wasn't the best out of my group of friends, but I was the one who made it as a professional footballer. So I always took on the pitch that I was representing them. For the ones who didn't make it, but I did, but they probably should have made it as well. I always went on the pitch with that sense of I'm representing them, so I can't let them down along with my family. So I always carried pressure with me. I always done that. I always happily put that on my shoulders, and that's why it wasn't a case of if they're not here, why they're not here. They was always in my thoughts. So I never ever really thought that they wasn't there, if I'm honest with you.
So I guess growing up in Peckham and your friends being good at football and you being good and real, and then you making it, why do you think you managed to make it? Do you think it's hard work, dedication, or lucky break?
Yeah, there's luck involved 100%, but the word luck is probably the wrong one, because you have to breed your own luck. You have to, your work ethic brings you luck, you know? I can't say that. So being in the right time at the right place, that's lucky. But when you're in a job where it's physical and people are watching you to see you do something, you can only breed your own luck by working hard. You know, and I feel that's what I've done. I knew I was going to get an opportunity because I was Rio's brother. I knew I was going to get opportunity. That's without saying. I knew I was going to get opportunity, but what I had to be was ready. You know, so I had to work harder than everyone else to be ready. And what came with that was I had 5-10 minutes. And if I didn't do something that likened me to Rio, I was rubbish. So I had to make sure that I was ready for that opportunity, because the way I looked at it was, okay, I'm going to get an opportunity because I'm Rio's brother, but Rio ain't with me on the pitch. I've actually got to go and do it myself, you know? And then going from that to actually making it as a footballer, and then establishing myself as a Premier League footballer, English Premier League footballer, and now becoming Anton Ferdinand, Ferdinand's brother, it was unbelievable. It was something, it was probably, I would say, and I've had some great achievements in my career, but in terms of my personal achievement, that's probably the biggest one, was stepping out of Rio's shadow and becoming Anton Ferdinand, probably the biggest achievement personally to me, you know, because I'd carried that from the age of 9 to when I finished playing football, really, till 30. I haven't announced that I'm finished playing football, but yeah, until the age of 35, really, you know. And so it was a big thing for me. But, yeah, but in terms of why I made it, I think I made it, and my friends who were better than me didn't. I had support. A lot of my friends didn't have their support from their parents, whereas I did. Some of them only had support from one parent because they was in a one-parent family, one-parent home. But I had, my mum and dad wasn't together, but my dad lived in the estate next door, so he was always close to us. He made sure he stayed close to us, and he was always there for us when we needed, you know, and if we needed to go football, he was there. You know, so I had the support. Me and Rio had the support of both our parents in pursuing our dreams, and that's probably the reason why we made it and some of our friends didn't, who were better than us.
So the same story, I guess, for a lot of people in different jobs. The drive, as you say, and having that support is massive.
Yeah, it is. It is. If you don't have support, then you will at some point struggle.
Mm.
You need support. It's the same when we talk about, which is a big issue at the moment, mental health.
Mm.
To get over mental health or depression, you need support.
Of course.
It's the same as when you, and that's an achievement to get over these things. So
Mm.
when you want to achieve anything, you need support, because you're going to have days where you don't want to do it. You're going to have days where things go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have days where you don't see no way out, And if you don't have support, that can lead to destruction in some way, shape or form. And thankfully, we have a mother and a father who gave us that support, which I'll always be eternally grateful for. And they're one of the main reasons why we was able to achieve what we achieved in the game.
Yeah, you're right, because mental health is like physical health. You have to have your mental health fit as well as your physical health, because they both coincide.
Of course they do, especially football. Football is a job like, it's an industry like no other. Things happen in football that couldn't and wouldn't happen in other industries. You have to be mentally strong. You have to have thick skin within football. And if you don't, you get eaten up very, very quickly. So yeah, the support system is it's imperative. It's something that you need as a child growing up, aspiring to be a footballer, and then when you do become a footballer, you probably need it even more, because especially now with social media, you need support system just for that, because social media now is a big thing, and you see people, they call them keyboard warriors, where they hide behind a keyboard and they abuse you, and you read it and you see it, and you got to deal with it in some way, shape or form.
What is the funniest, most outrageous thing you've ever read that somebody said that you apparently have said in media or in social? Have you ever read anything, thought, I never even said that? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know, I can't pinpoint one thing where someone's said something and I've been like, I didn't even say that.
That's good.
I've not. I've always, don't know. I've never really had that. I've not really had that in the media. I've been misquoted, like I'm sure everyone has been. But I'm never one. I'm sure like people that follow St Mirren, I've seen like a lot of players would tweet after games, great 3 points, fans were great. I never ever got into that. I never ever wanted to tweet or felt I needed to tweet to say great 3 points and stuff, because I always felt that if I'd done that, I'm opening myself up for criticism, because if the next week we didn't play well and we didn't win, fans still expect to see a tweet from you, because you tweet. So it's like you tweet when you're winning, but you don't tweet when you're losing.
And then
so
what
I
do you
never
say if you haven't won?
Exactly. I'm not going to now tweet, bad results today. Fans were okay, but we could have done better. I'm not going to tweet. It's negative. I'm not going to tweet that.
No.
Whatever I had to say, I said it in the dressing room, and I let my feelings be known in the dressing room. Anything outside of that, I never ever felt I needed to or wanted to share, unless it was something personal and it was just me. If I wanted to tweet somebody or tweet something personal, I would do. But if it was something to do with the collective of the group, I would never ever tweet it. I always kept that in the dressing room, whether I had a go at somebody or whether we won the game and I was encouraging. I always kept that within the dressing room, which I felt right.
For sure. So talking about football being in a bit of disarray at the moment, with no obvious answer, or maybe there is to you, I mean, what are your thoughts on it if you were currently about to play and then everything stopped? What do you think would be a good conclusion to the season, if there could be one?
I just can't see how the powers that be in football can think about playing the season right now. The reason being is because I know as a footballer, to do what I've done, to do what you're doing now, and then go and play a game. You might get through the first week, but the second week or the second game, there'll be a lot of injuries. The lads are going to need a mini pre-season, 100%. You can do as much running as you want on the roads or on the treadmill, and as much gym work as you possibly want. But the minute you go on the pitch or the minute you get a ball out, it's a different type of fitness on your legs, a different type of pressure on your legs. And you need to build up sustainability to be able to deal with that. You need to build up the strength to be able to do that. And you can't do that just in the gym. It's impossible. I'll give you an example. Mo Farah runs the marathon quicker than most people, if not anyone.
Yeah.
But you watch him in like a soccer aid game, in a charity game, after 60 minutes, he's like treading on water because it's a different fitness. When the ball's out, the stop-start stuff is different. But if you put him in a run where it's consistent running, he'll blow everyone out of the water. You know, you have to train for these things. So I think going back into, you're putting the players at risk in that sense. And secondly, if Gary Neville said it the other day, what will the Premier League and other countries do if a player or a manager goes into intensive care because they've contracted the virus? What are they going to do?
Yeah, if they've potentially been exposed by doing their job.
Exactly. So is it
a necessary job?
Exactly. Are we big?
No offense to footballers, we love it. I love it. I love going to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. As much as I want it back on the screens, as much as I want to be back in the stadium watching football, is football bigger than somebody's life? No, it isn't.
Exactly.
And I think that's what we've got to take into consideration. You know, how they work out whether teams win the league or whether teams get relegated, that's in the unknown. That's something that I can't comment on. But one thing's for sure, is football bigger than someone's life? No, it isn't.
No, and I guess the footballers must be worried as well, because you can't not be in close proximity to another player if you're tackling the ball, or how is that even possible?
Exactly. You just got to think, the sweat, when you're sweating, when you sweat, it comes off of you when you're doing a movement or when you're hitting a ball, and when you're in close proximity with somebody, sweat comes off of you. You know, I don't know a footballer who don't get a lot of saliva in their mouth when they're playing. They need to spit. Sometimes you need to spit. You know, the virus transmits through these type of things.
You chuck water bottles, have a drink halfway. Do you share a water bottle? How do you keep those 6 water bottles?
Exactly. So it's a lot of things to think about. But again, I say football's not bigger than someone's life. You know, as much as we all love it, and people will say it's a game. To me, it's not a game. It's your livelihood. But if you're not here to see it and breathe it,
what's the point?
It's not bigger than that. What's the point?
So let's talk about something a bit more fun. You've played a lot of football abroad. How was that?
It was enjoyable. Playing the ball was enjoyable. The lifestyle was unbelievable in Turkey. Yeah, like waking up so obviously it was always hot. So we never really trained in the morning. We always trained in like late afternoon, evening.
Okay.
So you had the whole day to yourself. So you done with it what you wanted. If you wanted to go to the beach, you went to the beach. If you wanted to stay in and chill, you stayed in and chilled. If you wanted to go and do fun things in the sun, you could. You know, it was down to you. So from a lifestyle perspective, it was unbelievable. And waking up, as you would know and everyone would know, waking up in the sun, there's no better feeling. When the sun's out, naturally you smile, naturally you're energized, naturally you're happy, you're in a better place.
Mm.
You know, this is why people go on holiday, to be in the sun for that reason.
Yeah.
But I was living that. And so the lifestyle was unbelievable. The football I enjoyed, but at times there was politics within the football club, you know, so it stopped me playing football at times. And that side of it I didn't enjoy. But when I did play, I loved it because I was playing a job, I was playing football, and football is what I love and what I know.
Did you learn much of the language?
Yeah, I knew a little bit. I knew enough to get by. Like I could go into a restaurant and be fine.
Really?
I grew up with a lot of Turkish people, so I half understood their culture and the way they are as people. You know, just a little things like, to me and you and like the UK, someone tutting is rude.
Mm.
You know, if someone said something and you tutted, you'd think, oh, you're rude.
Uh-huh.
Whereas in Turkey, someone tutting, that could be them saying no.
Oh.
So if someone come to me and said, if someone came to me and said, oh, do you want a drink, Anton? And I just went, that means no.
So did you do that, or did you feel too rude?
No, I had always just said no. It's ingrained in me to just go, no, I wouldn't tut. Because to me, that is rude.
Mm.
You know? But because I've grown up with a lot of Turkish families and stuff, like my best friend growing up, he was Turkish. The family lived below me in the estate. I knew their mannerisms, I knew their culture, so it was easier for me to go there and fit in. And I already knew little 1 or 2 words. So as I started to be around them talking a bit more, I started to pick up more things, and I started to articulate and speak more the football language.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. Not day-to-day language, but more the football language. I started to speak a bit more. But as I said, I could go into a restaurant, I could get by.
I guess going to Scotland was probably like another language as well on the football pitch.
At times, yeah. Like, hearing the word "but" after everything, I was like, what?
You know what I mean? But like that?
Yeah, exactly. Anton, what are you doing, but? Pardon? Like, so it was surreal, but I picked it up very quickly. I picked up things very, very quickly. But it was, I wish I would have went to Scotland earlier in my career, if I'm honest. After playing a year in St Mirren, I wish I would have went to Scotland earlier. I had an opportunity to potentially go to Celtic. When Neil Lennon was first there, and I was playing in Turkey and Antalyaspor, and they came over for winter training camp.
Right.
And I had a sit down with Neil Lennon, speak about potentially going there from Antalya, but I couldn't get out of my contract at Antalyaspor. So it didn't happen. But I do wish after playing a year last year in Scotland in the Premier League, I do wish I would have came there earlier, maybe a bit younger. You know, I definitely do feel that I definitely do wish I'd came there a bit earlier, for sure.
And what made you move to St Mirren? If I'm correct in thinking you've got some family near Paisley.
Yeah, my wife's uncle lives in Paisley. I remember I was sitting down. I was at Southend at the time, negotiating a severance pay with them. I was still training. I was still out every day, training, running in the gym, trying to get a football out as much as possible, but just training by myself. And I got a text from my agent saying, would I go to the Scottish Premier League? And I was like, well, I'm going from League One to the Scottish Premier League, to the best league in the country that I'm going to. So I was like, okay, yeah. I said, who's the team? And he said, St Mirren. And I went, okay. So I started to do a bit of research on St Mirren myself.
You mean you hadn't heard of us?
Pardon?
You mean you hadn't heard of them?
No, of course I'd heard of you. One of my good friends is Billy Mehmet.
Oh, really?
Me and Billy Mehmet, he was a year above me at West Ham in the youth team.
Ah. But did you meet? Because he went to Turkey as well, didn't he?
Yeah, but before that, so he grew up in a place called Nunhead, which is around the corner from Peckham. So my family have known his family a very, very long time.
Ah.
And we ended up playing together for West Ham because I always played a year up. So I always played in his team.
Is that because you were
I'd known him? I'd known exactly. So I'd known him for a very long time. So I knew about St Mirren.
Ah, okay.
Just from his spell there. And my mother-in-law was sitting next to me when I got the text, and I was saying it to my mother-in-law and to my wife, saying I've just had an offer to go on trial at St Mirren in Scotland. And my mother-in-law went, oh, my brother lives up there. Let me find out. Let me ask him where he is. And so I Googled where it was, and I said, Paisley. It said Paisley. I said, oh, it's Paisley. So she messaged her brother saying, Adam, are you far from Paisley? And he went, you silly idiot, I live in Paisley. And he went, why is that? He went, Anton's been offered a trial with St Mirren. And he was like, yeah, I live 5 minutes from the ground.
Right.
You know, so when I heard that, I didn't even need to research anymore. I'd made my mind up, I was going, because there was family there, you know, and that was it. I went up for the week to train. And yeah, I turned up the same day as Oren. So we both had our first day on the same day. So he knew he was getting a job, and he knew one of the agents within my agency and said he needed an experienced centre back. Can you get anyone? Because what Oren had heard is that the team's good, but they ain't got enough experience.
Yes.
You know, he said we've got a good young team, but not enough experience. So he wanted to bring some experience in. So, and that's how it got put to me. And then once I knew and heard that my uncle-in-law, my wife's uncle, lived there and lived 5 minutes from the ground, I was like, yeah, get me up there. And I was on the plane the next day going up, and I spent a week training. And in that week, I'd done enough just in training. I didn't play no trial games. All I'd done was train, and I'd done enough in the training for Oren to say, yeah, we want to sign Anton. And it was done and dusted. And I nearly didn't play the Celtic game because it nearly wasn't done.
Really?
For the Celtic game. But yeah, luckily it was done, and my first game was at Celtic, was against Celtic at home.
So how was that? I guess that'll be your first Scottish game.
When the phrase thrown into the lion's den comes to mind, that's what it was, but it was enjoyable. I mean, why not start with the best? You know, I looked at it as in, this is my first game in 6 months. I hadn't played a game in 6 months. I wasn't match fit. I was nowhere near match fit. I was football fit, but I wasn't match fit. So I was looking at going, if we was playing someone who was around us in the league, there's pressure because you need to win the game.
Yeah.
But I took it as we're playing against the champions. There's no expectations to win the game, no pressure. I can just go and get minutes under my belt. And if I play well, that's a bonus.
Okay.
If not, I've got minutes in the tank. I've got minutes in my leg, and that's what the game was for. But my personal pride obviously went, and I need to play well. I have to play well. This is the first time that the fans of St Mirren and the fans in Scotland are seeing me play, and I know a lot of fans are watching me play because of my surname, because of Ferdinand being my surname. So I knew I had to perform, and on the night, luckily I did.
So yeah, absolutely, it was a brilliant game. To be fair, I was fortunate enough to be there. In fact, I think, did I see you after that day? Maybe after that game or another game. But so the buddies have to thank Adam really for you coming.
Yeah, Adam, my uncle. I say my uncle. He is my uncle. I spent every day with him, his wife, and their 4 children. I would finish training and go to the house and stay there till 10 o'clock at night, and then go home, then go back to my flat and sleep. Basically, my flat was just there. I was there to sleep, right? And other than that, I was always at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for them, there was times where maybe I would have left the flat, closed the door, and went back to London and wouldn't have came back. Where I was missing my family and stuff. So yeah, I think Adam and Gillian, that's his wife, and the 4 kids, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have gone to St Mirren now.
Were they St Mirren fans themselves?
They supported their local team, yeah. They now go weekly without me being there. Adam takes the boys there whenever they're at home now. So yeah, they're St Mirren fans, and they support their local team.
That's brilliant. So was your flat in Glasgow when you were up
there? Yeah, my flat was by the harbour. Glasgow Harbour. It was opposite, the famous shipbuilding.
Yes, and the Clyde
place. It was literally opposite that.
So there's a wee museum next to that as well. Did you ever go?
Yeah, I did. Took the kids there when they came up, with all the transport museum.
That's it.
Yeah, really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. Seeing the old cars, the old taxis, like the first taxis up to the present taxis. It was crazy. It was enjoyable.
And did your family enjoy visiting Glasgow when they got the chance?
Yeah, they did. They did enjoy it. What I found crazy, but I loved it, is that I lived in the centre of Glasgow. I lived in the city, the main city. But if I drove for 35, 40 minutes, I was at the lock.
Loch Lomond.
I was in a place where it was surreal, where there was secret coves, secret beaches and stuff like that. You go and walk and you discover new things. Like it was crazy, and I actually loved that part of it. Sometimes I'll just go there, drive there on my own, just go for a walk and be in my thoughts. And it was somewhere in England, in London, you don't get that.
No.
In London, you don't get that. In England, you don't get that. Whereas in Glasgow, a 35, 40-minute drive, I was it was like he was in a totally different place. And if the sun was out, it was like he was abroad.
Yeah.
And that was surreal.
Did you go into the city much? Or did you spend most of your time in Paisley?
I spent most of my time in Paisley, if I'm honest, rather than going to the city. I went to the city occasionally. I'm sure if I was younger, the city would have seen more of me, 100%. It would have seen more of me if I was younger. But I was there for one thing, and that was to play football. And that was my focus. I'm 34. I was 34 at the time. I needed to make sure that I felt like an elite athlete every day, and to do that, I had to rest properly. I couldn't be out and about in Glasgow city centre. I had to be at home or at my uncle and auntie's, chilling.
I love how seriously you take it.
Son, I didn't get to where I got to mucking about. I had to be serious. Football's not a game. It's not a sport or a job where you can switch it on and off. When preparing for a game, I think I was a lot different to a lot of people. So my preparation for a game, if we were playing on a Saturday, my preparation for a game started Thursday.
Right.
I was thinking about who we were playing against. I was in the analyst room, asking questions, watching clips on strikers I was playing against, because I'm in Scotland, it's a new league. I'm playing against players that I don't know. I'm playing against players who I don't know what they're about. I don't know what their strengths are. I had to learn.
For sure.
And the best possible way to learn was to not learn in the game. You know, and sometimes it wasn't a case of saying to one of my teammates, "Oh, what foot is he?" I wanted to know. Like I'm someone who I've never liked excuses, you know, and I always tried to cover things, so I never had an excuse. If I didn't play well on that day, I didn't play well because I just didn't play well, not because I didn't know something or I could have prepared better, you know. So I always tried to prepare myself in a way where I didn't have any excuses, and that's the way. And as footballers, we always have excuses. I'm not saying I never ever made excuses, but as footballers, we're built to make excuses. Our egos are built to make excuses. I didn't play well because I didn't sleep well last night, or the baby had me up all night, or I didn't play well because I didn't really know what tactics we were given. I didn't understand the tactic. That's why I didn't play well, rather than going, look in the mirror and going, I didn't play well because I just didn't play well. I wasn't at it today. Or I didn't do my homework properly. I didn't do my research on who I was playing against properly. So I always, my preparation for a game started on a Thursday, really, on who we were playing against, what their danger men were, what the strikers, what their strengths were. That's how I prepared for games. And I had a lot more time on my hands up there to do that.
And where do you think that came from? Did you see other people do that when you were sort of going through the ranks, or is that something you just yourself thought, this is how I want to prepare for a game?
It came when I was younger. When I got put into the West Ham first team, and then Alan Pardew became manager, and I knew I was better than who was playing. I knew I was, but he wasn't playing me, and I used to like knock his door once a week. Gaffer, why am I not playing? I'm better than these guys. Why am I not playing? And one of these things was, you don't train properly. You don't train properly every day. You don't prepare properly every day. You don't prepare for games properly. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to show you that I do. So I started to incorporate these things. I rang Rio, how should I prepare better? This is what the manager told me. He gave me pointers, and it just stayed with me. And I'd done it for about, I remember doing it for a week or 2 weeks and be like, Gaffer, I'm doing it, look. But as I got older, it's like, that 1-2 weeks ain't enough. So I'd done it for a month, done it for 2 months, and all of a sudden I got my chance, and I took it. And I never looked back from there, and it became part and parcel of my routine, not just daily, but especially leading to matches. I made sure I prepared, and I was ready for who I was playing against.
So I guess looking back, do you think the way he did that really shaped you as a player, I guess?
Yeah, it shaped me as a professional. It shaped me as a person within the game to prepare right. I think if you ask a lot of my teammates that are at St Mirren, my ex-teammates, I'm sure you'd hear a lot of them say Anton's loud, he's a joker, he likes a joke, he's funny, he's probably the loudest in the dressing room, he's the loudest around the training ground. But the minute that he went onto the training pitch, or the minute it was time to prepare for a game within a dressing room, he was just different. He was focused. His eyes were different. I remember, I think it might have been Ethan Erhon said to me, like, what, like, on a game day, there's something different about you. And I went, what do you mean? He went, like, I don't know, it might be your eyes. There's something different in your eyes. Like, I see you have a little bit of a joke, but you're not like how you are around a training ground. I was like, because this is serious. Everything that we've done through the week leads and builds up for this day. So why would I not take it seriously? You know, and not just that, people are paying to come and watch me. They're paying to come watch us. It's only right that I give them the respect that they deserve for paying to come and watch us by taking this as serious as they would want me to. And I think that's just the way that I was, and that's the way I was brought up within a footballing family and football environment.
It was interesting because I remember watching Ethan before you joined the team, and then when you did join the team, the focus that he would have when you were playing alongside him, he was like a different player when you were on. Do you think he looked up to you quite a lot?
Yeah, I think he did. I mean, he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's a good player. He's a good player. For someone, he was 17 when he came into the team and played regular football in the Scottish Premier League at 17. Did he make mistakes? Yeah, he did. But he was consistently good.
Mm.
You know, and I'm playing out of position. He's playing left back.
Yeah.
When he's a second midfielder. But yeah, I think he did look up to me. I think I was never a pro who, because I've done what I've done in the game and because of it's more than what probably most people have done in that dressing room, I never looked as they can't say anything to me or what I'm saying is right.
Mm.
You know, and I think that's why, especially young players, they respected me and looked up to me because I never just spoke. I always done what I was saying.
Yeah.
You know, I never just spoke about things. Yeah, I was loud and I loved to joke, but when we trained, I was serious, you know, and I think they might have looked at it and gone, well, if Anton at 34 is doing what he's doing and taking it as serious as he is taking it, and he's had the career that he's had, then that's something we can learn from and something that we can do.
Yeah, you could see when you were on the pitch that people looked to you. They took your direction, and you could see almost, and I appreciate you weren't the captain, but they were very much listening to you and your guidance. And you could see, especially with St Mirren, they would open up, they would widen out, they would push forward rather than constantly retreat and just go back, which is what they were doing before you joined.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, I wore the captain's armband as a captain of the club one time in my career, and that was at Southend, and I loved every minute of it. But I always saw myself as a captain. Whether I wore the armband or not, I always saw myself as a captain. I never said it.
No.
But just the way that I was, out of respect for the captain. So at St Mirren, as much as I deep down thought, okay, I'm not wearing the armband, but when playing, I think, talk and play like a captain. These lads still need to understand and know that I'm not the captain. So Stephen McGinn, I'd always call him Skip.
Right.
I'd always call him captain or Skip. Always. Never called him Stephen McGinn. Always called him captain or skipper, because he deserved that respect. One, what he's done for the club. Two, he's a fantastic player. And three, the lads needed to know that I respected him as a captain and as a person. So I always made it a point that I called him Skip or captain, always on the pitch, around the dressing room, around the training ground. Skip, captain. I always done that, you know, because I wouldn't feel right stepping on someone's toes in that way, especially someone like him who's a fantastic person, a fantastic leader and a fantastic player, especially someone who's classed as a legend at the football club. For sure. You know, that's not my character. That's not something that I would do. But I would never change the way that I approach and the way that I play a game. That leadership is just in me. And I feel if I don't play like that, you wouldn't see the same Anton.
And that's part of the reason why you were brought into the team, for your experience too.
Yeah, 100%. And I remember going in and training and sitting down and speaking with Jack Bird.
Oh, yeah.
And I think with Oren coming in, he was on his 6th manager, I think.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Something like that. And at times he had been a bit part player. He'd play some games, play not. play this, play that. And after my first conversation with Jack, I just liked what I heard. I liked what I saw of him. I liked in terms of in training. I saw his work ethic. He wasn't as gifted as other players, but his work ethic every day was probably at the high end in terms of our squad.
Mm.
And I just wanted to help him. I wanted to see him play regularly. I wanted to see him become better.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see him become more confident, you know. And I used to speak to him daily about his game, daily. I used to do things with him on a training pitch. I used to do drills that I had done as a kid all the way up into to being at St Mirren.
Mm.
And I still do them now. Doing little drills, defensive drills. I'll take him to the side and I'll do that with him, you know, because I wanted to see him be more confident. You know, people just saw him as someone who was a kick it and head it person. When I first got there, he would put his head in the way of anything. He would put his body on the line. But I'm sure that you and others saw as the season went on with me being there. I'm not saying it was down to me, because it wasn't. The coach has done a fantastic job with him as well. But he became more. He didn't mind having the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to pass. He wanted to play out from the back. You know, he wanted to dribble out from the back. And that was, when I started to see that, I was like, wow, this is fantastic. Someone who I saw and was spoken about to me as someone who's a head and kick it defender, to now being someone who's confident on the ball, someone who actually wants to play. And that actually made him look a better player.
Yeah.
You know, and he was instrumental especially in the business end of the season, which we end up staying up. He was instrumental. He was fantastic. He done things that only someone who played the game would see.
Mm.
You know, the little things, the talking, the organising. Like, I didn't play a lot of the second part of the season, but in the second half of the season, he became a little bit like me. He took things from me from the first season in terms of organising and talking that he didn't do when I first got there. He started doing the second half of the season. He's playing with Mihai, who couldn't really speak English properly, you know. So he had to organise, which was difficult, but he was able to do it, you know. And I'm glad and happy that I was a part of that.
So are we, as fans.
Thank you.
You were loved at St Mirren and loved it, well, all the clubs that you played at. Has there been a favourite chant that you've ever heard people sing about you?
The St Mirren one's fantastic. After staying up and going into the centre of Paisley and going into, what's the pub called that we went into?
Bank House.
The Bank House, that's it. That type of interaction with fans, I've never had that before in the whole of my career.
Really?
Never. That's the first time I've ever had that. You know, going into the Bank House on the shoulders of a couple of the fans, and all going in on their shoulders, and all of a sudden they're chanting your name and singing the song that they were singing, that they sang for me, is something that I've still got the videos on my phone now, and I play them every so often. It was an unbelievable moment, you know, and lucky enough for my uncle Adam to be there and experience it with me, and have someone there to experience that with me. You know, it was fantastic, and that's something that I've never had in my footballing career, and I've played in front of some fantastic fans in terms of like West Ham fans are unbelievable, Sunderland fans are unbelievable, QPR fans are unbelievable, Southend fans are unbelievable, Reading fans are unbelievable. But I've never had that interaction. I've always interacted with fans. I've always spoken with fans. I've always give fans my ear. You know, even when things ain't going well, I'd always be the one that if they could come and speak to her and I'll speak to them, I'll take the pressure away from some of the other boys and I'll take the pressure on me and I'll say, okay, come in, what's your grievances, tell me, and I'll try and answer them for you, you know. But in terms of interaction, in terms of being put on a pedestal, being sung about, and being in that party environment, I've never had that, and it's something that will stay with me forever.
But you'll never have to buy a drink in Paisley ever again.
No, we didn't buy one drink that night, which was unbelievable. But I'm just lucky, if I'm honest, to do something where you can influence someone's mood and someone's life, you know, and to be a part of that. I'm lucky, and I pinch myself and I say again, it's the best part of being a footballer, is just off doing one thing, you can change someone's mental state of mind. You can change someone's
entire week
feelings. You know, you can change them from being sad to being happy, just off of one thing. And sometimes that's just saying hello. That's not even on a football pitch. That's just saying hello. That's just giving someone your time. And that for me has been the best part of being a footballer, is being able to change people's moods and the way they are, you know, and also changing people's perception of yourself. You know, I had that a lot. People, especially in England, thought I was rude and arrogant, you know, but I used to hear a lot from people, you're not what I thought you was. And I was like, what did you think I was? And they'll say, I thought you was going to be rude and arrogant and flash. And I'm like, well, why would you think that? And they're like, because that's what the papers perceive you to be. That's how they write about you. But when they actually got to know me and got to speak to me, they was like, you know what, you're so far from that. And it was nice. I used to hear it 3-4 times a week. But it was nice because then people started to see the real me and know the real me.
I guess it must be difficult because you are playing a part, you're playing a focused footballer, and then at the same time you are a real person.
Yeah, it is hard, and people tend to forget that. I didn't really look at that and understand that probably until my mum passed away, if I'm honest. Before that, I just went with the flow. I cared what people thought about me to an extent, but as long as people said Anton's a good footballer, that's what. If they said I wasn't a good footballer, it would hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, someone said, "Oh yeah, he's arrogant, he's this, he's that," but I tell you what, he's a good footballer. I'd take that.
Yeah,
because they're talking about my trade. They're talking about what I do, and I'm like, okay, I'm good at that. That's fine. But as I got older, I started to care a bit more about what people thought of me. I didn't care what my fellow teammates thought in terms of he's moany, he speaks his mind. I didn't care about that. As long as my teammates said I was a good player, and that stayed with me throughout my career. I didn't care what people thought of me as a person. As long as they said I was a good player in my dressing room, that's all I cared about. I knew I was a good person, and I knew if people that didn't like me, within a month, they would go, actually, Anton's a nice guy, because I knew naturally I was. But as I got older, it became more about the public perception for me. Not only that, because I all of a sudden I had children, I had a wife, had children, and I'm walking down the street with them. I don't want them to hear people saying, "Oh, Anton, look at him, he's arrogant, he's rude, he's this, he's that." I don't want him to hear that. So it became a priority of mine to be looked upon as someone who was respected in the game, but respected outside of the game as well. And I didn't actually realise that properly until my mum passed away, and all of a sudden going from being cheered because I had played so well the year before to now being booed because I wasn't playing well. And it wasn't like people didn't understand why I wasn't, because it was well documented that my mum had passed away and that I was going through a tough time. So whilst I was going through that tough time, I went from someone who in his interview today, all I've spoken about is how much I've loved football and how much football meant to me, and how proud I was in my performances, and I played for these people, I played for my family and friends, to all of a sudden being someone I didn't care about football. I didn't care about how I played. I didn't care about the result. And then getting booed, it was like, wow, like, okay, I've got short memories. How are you booing me? And I'm going through this, and then they'll boo me, then I'd come out after the game and people would ask me for an autograph who had just been booing me. And at times I wanted to turn around and tell them to go away.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. One, I was club captain at Southend, and two, I wanted people to look at me and go, Anton's a nice guy. One, because I had my children with me.
Gosh, it's been an incredible career, eh?
Yeah, it's been incredible. It's been one that I'm proud of. If you asked anyone who was aspiring to be a footballer and they said, oh, you could have Anton Ferdinand's career, I'm sure they'll jump at it. So it's something that I'm proud of. It's something that I don't take lightly. But in this lockdown period, I've been watching a lot of my old games.
Oh, really?
I have. I've been reflecting and watching a lot of my old games. I have. And I look at my career and I'm like, wow, a boy from Peckham's actually achieved this, and it's unbelievable.
Obviously, your highlight being at St Mirren.
Listen, staying up with St Mirren, because at one point we were dead and buried.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I mean, how we got out of that, I actually couldn't even tell you. If I'm honest, I couldn't tell you. But we had a togetherness within the dressing room. You know, the manager done his job. The one thing about Oren was he wasn't your normal manager, where he was authoritative to a point, but he wasn't one of those managers, what I say goes, and whatever you think, I don't care about it. I'm the manager. And he wasn't like that. He was open to listening to people's experiences, people's opinions, and trying to piece together something that would work for the team. And I believe that's one of the reasons why we stayed up. Another manager might have come in and gone, no, we're doing it my way, and this is the way we're doing it. I'm not open to listen to anybody else but myself, you know, and which I'm not saying it's the wrong way to be, you know, but he done it a different way and was open to listening to different people, you know, and taking on people's advice, and it wasn't just the coaching staff, it was sometimes it was senior players, you know. And one thing that I will say about the senior players within that dressing room, you know, we all had one goal, and that was to keep St Mirren in the Premier League, you know. So anything that got said, anything that you was given across that was your opinion, it was for the better of the team, and was never to the better for the better of themselves. It was always about the team. And that's one thing that as senior pros in our dressing room, the likes of Gary McKenzie, myself, Simeon Jackson, Ryan Flynn, you know, Paul McGinn, our actions and the way that we spoke, and if the manager ever did come and speak to us and ask us for our insight and our knowledge, it was always with one thing at mind, and that was the team, that was the club.
It's brilliant. So what's next for Anton Ferdinand? Do you want to keep playing? Do you want to go into the media? Maybe start singing? I hear you're a good singer.
Who said that?
I'm sure I heard that when you were up at St Mirren.
Do you know what's crazy? See, the week that I signed, so we always sang with St Mirren, it was always your away game, but it was always the game where it was always going to be the game where you stayed away, and the only game that we stayed away was Aberdeen.
Okay.
That season, last season. So a few weeks after, me signing, we had Aberdeen away. And literally the day before, on the Thursday, the week before, on the Saturday on Soccer AM, there was an interview with Jermaine Defoe.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked Jermaine Defoe, the best singer you've heard the best footballer that you've heard who's a singer. And he said me, right? And the boys had got hold of this footage. So Craig Sampson,
Oh yeah,
Sammy got hold of his footage and put it in the group. And immediately we're expecting big things from you, Anton. Like, you better be able to sing after hearing this. And it literally happened a week before the Aberdeen game. So I had so much pressure on me. And I was more nervous doing that than I was playing my first game against Celtic, if I'm honest.
Doing what? What did you have to do? Just
stand up on the chair and sing in front of the whole squad.
So what did you sing?
I sang a song by Aaliyah. She's an R&B singer. She died when we was younger.
I love you think I wouldn't know who that was.
I'm just saying it for the masses, not for you. For the masses, whoever's listening to this, they might not know who Aaliyah is, especially the younger generation. A song called "One in a Million" it's called. If you don't know it, go and check it out. It's a good song.
Could you give us a few lines just now?
No,
none.
I won't be doing that. No, I'm shy.
One wee sentence.
No, I might post. Sammy actually sent me the video the other day. Craig Sampson sent me the video the other day.
Oh, you have to send it to us.
So
go on.
I might post it, the video, a bit later.
We could put it in with the interview. We could just sort of slide it in.
No, well, if you do that, then I might send you it.
I think you should. I think that'd be really good.
But I was more nervous doing that than I was actually making my debut for the club against Celtic.
Wow.
Live on Sky. I was more nervous doing that. But what's next for me? I think it would be wrong of me not to share or pass down my experiences to the next generation in football. People at St Mirren will know and will speak and will understand and know what I mean by this. I was someone who always wanted to help players, not just the younger players, but even the older players, always there to speak to. If they didn't understand something, if they needed help with something on the training pitch or within their game, I would always help them. And I think the next chapter in my life is definitely, I feel, is about helping people. And whether that's being a mentor, which I'm currently doing at the moment. I mentor to a lot of players at my agency, New Era Global Sports Management, because I've been through a lot in my career, whether it be good, whether it be bad, probably more than a lot of people have been through. And what a lot of players, especially young players, don't understand and don't know, football isn't always rosy. It's not always green.
No.
You know, there's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of politics within the game. And a lot of it is how you deal with it, which is the key thing. And if I can help people deal with the situations that are coming their way, because to become a footballer, you have to go through situations. You have to go through stuff that probably in any other line of work you wouldn't go through.
No.
And a lot of it is mental building, it's mental strength building. Like I said, if you're not thick-skinned and not mentally strong, you will struggle to become a footballer. You struggle to play at the highest level. And if I can help in any way, shape or form to prepare the next generation to do that, then I'll be happy to do so. Whether that be on a training pitch or whether that be day-to-day on the phone or in person.
Well, I think you've shown already, even just from what I've seen at St Mirren, that you would be great at that. So I wish you all
Thank
the
you very
best.
much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you so much. It's been amazing, and we've taken up so much of your time. I didn't expect it to go on for so long, so I
It's
really am
okay.
very grateful.
It's okay. Thank you for having me.
Of course. You're going to come up to Scotland anytime soon?
I am after this is finished. Pandemic's finished. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Yeah, I am going to come up. I'm going to come up to watch a St Mirren game. I spoke to Gus. I'll keep in contact with Gus, to be fair, over text. And yeah, I've said to him since I left, I want to come up. I was quite keen to sign on and stay for another season, but that never happened. For the reasons that I can't talk about and to do with the club. They want to go in a different direction, I think. But I served my purpose there. I achieved with the team, keeping the team in the Premier League, which was the goal. But yeah, St Mirren always have a place in my heart. So whenever I come to Scotland, and that'll be soon, I'll definitely come to a St Mirren game to see, not just to watch the game, but to see the boys and see the fans, and who I had a great relationship with.
You definitely did. Oh, it's been so good to catch up. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.